This video is about graphing linear equations using the x and y intercept. Before we can do that, we need to talk about what the x and y intercept are. Visually, what's happening is the graph, the linear equation, whatever it looks like, will cross the x and y axis at some point. The point where it crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept, and the point where it crosses the x-axis is the x-intercept. Hence the name intercept. It's intersecting the y-axis and the x-axis. Now the points on all the points on the y-axis are going to be in the form 0, b. Right? Any point on this graph, if I found this point down here, the x is not moving left or right. So I'm moving 0 in the x position and then down 2. Or I'm moving 0 left or right and then up 3. Every single point on that y-axis is going to be in the form 0 and then some constant, some number. The x-intercepts are going to be the opposite. I'm going to be moving some value in the x direction and then not moving up or down. And every point on the x-axis will be in that form. It'll be some x value and then 0 for the y value. We can use that information to algebraically solve for the x and y intercept. Since I know that on the y-axis all the x values will be 0, I could plug in 0 for x to find the y-intercept, and vice versa. For the x-intercept, I could plug in 0 for y to find the x-intercept. So let's go ahead and try this first example. I have the linear equation negative 2x plus y equals 0. I'm going to first start by letting x equal 0. So if x is 0, that means it's going to end up on the y-axis. So I'm finding the y-intercept here. I'm going to replace x with 0. 0 times anything is 0. Y ends up equaling 4. That gives me the ordered pair. X was 0, right? We plugged in 0 for x. And we found y was 4. I'm going to do the same thing. So that's the y-intercept. Don't mix those up on your homework. This has a y value here and no x value. It's the y-intercept. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start by letting y equal 0. This time I'm solving for x. I don't know what that x-intercept is, but I'm going to let y equal 0. So anything plus 0 is just itself. I want to get x alone. I undo that multiplication with division. X will equal 4 divided by negative 2 ends up negative 2. Positive divided by negative is negative. And now I have the ordered pair. X comes first, and I plugged in 0 for y. Now that I have these 2 points, I can plot them on my graph. I'm going to do 0 left and right, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my y-intercept. Then for my x-intercept, I'm going to go back 2 on the x-axis and up 0. Once I have my 2 plotted, I can connect the dots to draw my line. It is recommended that you find a third point to verify that you did your math correct here. You don't have to. Technically, you only need 2 points to make a line, but 3 is recommended to make sure you did your math correctly. Alright, let's look at these next two. Same idea. It says use the intercept method to graph. That means the x and y intercept. If I want to find my intercepts, I'm going to start by, oops, didn't mean to do that. Let me zoom out a little bit. And I could start with either one, so this time I'm going to start by letting y equals 0, just to switch it up. I'm going to plug in 0 for y, and I'm trying to find x, meaning I'm trying to find my x-intercept. I want to get x alone, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Negative 4 equals negative 3x. I want to undo multiplication, divide by negative 3. And a negative divided by negative is going to end up positive. On your homework, if it asks you to find the x and y intercept and list it as an ordered pair, remember, you picked a value, you found the other half of the coordinate. And it always goes x, y. So 4/3 was my x, and 0 was my y. This is not going to be ideal for graphing, but we're going to go ahead and attempt it here in a minute. I believe your homework has whole numbers, so that's nice. I just wanted to show you that you can get fractional x and y intercepts. On this example, I already did the y, so now I'm going to do the x equals 0. I'm trying to find y, so I'm going to leave that as a variable. Plug in 0 for x. 0 times anything is 0. Y will equal 4. And that is always xy for the ordered pair. 0 was x. I found 4 for y. That's the nicer of the two to graph, so I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y-axis. And then 4/3 is the same thing as 1 and 1/3. So on the x-axis, I'm going to go over 1 and about 1/3 of the way there. Connect my dots. Making sure to fill my graph. And there you go. Not the best by freehand. Part B, same thing. I'm going to let x equals 0, find my y. And then y equals 0, find my x. These are separate points. Sometimes I have students try to make them a single point, but you are picking x equals 0, we are finding y. Once I plug that in, 3 times 0 is 0. Don't lose your negative here. This is a negative y equals 6. Y is not quite alone. I need to get it alone. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. Y equals negative 6. That would give me the ordered pair. I plugged in 0 for x. I found negative 6 for y. And vice versa, plugging in y equals 0. I have 3x minus 0 equals 6. When I subtract 0, I'm left with what I started with. And then divide to get x alone. So x equals 2. Again, ordered pairs go x, y. So x was 2. I plugged in 0 for y. Those are nice points to graph. I go up to my graph and I say 0 down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 on the x, up 0. Now it's very easy to mix these two up. Sometimes it helps if you think about it as x, y. So this needs to end up on the y-axis. And this goes x, y. So this needs to end up on the x-axis. And only because the other coordinate is 0, the other half. So now I connect my dots, or my points. And there you go. I have my graph. So the idea is Let x equal 0, find the y-intercept. Let y equal 0, find the x-intercept.